Hello everybody. This is a presentation for parents giving some top tips for supporting homework and remote learning in lower Key Stage 2. First, we're going to have a look at what children need to do for their homework in Year 3 and in Year 4. They need to read at least 5 times during the week. They need to learn the times tables for that week. And they need to learn the spellings that the teacher sets for the week. Let's start off having a look at some reading ideas. Find a quiet time of the day where you can focus just on the reading and there's no other distractions. This might be before children go to bed. It might be when they've had their breakfast in the morning and they're waiting to come to school. You might prefer to do it as soon as they get home from school, but just find a quiet time where you all can just focus on reading. Take turns to read a page. Sometimes this will help encourage a reluctant reader. Find a book that your child enjoys. It doesn't have to be the school book every day. They might prefer to read a magazine, or they might prefer to read an information book. They might also have lots of their own favourite books at home. So long as they're reading, it doesn't matter what they read. And most importantly, write a positive comment in your child's reading diary. Add some stickers, add some smiley faces. They love to know that their reading has made you happy. Okay, let's have a look at some ideas for helping with spelling homework. Make sure that you log on to Tapestry to find out the new spellings for the week. It's really important because this is the only way that you'll find out what spellings your child has. Write them down for your child. Maybe stick them on the kitchen cupboard or on the fridge. Maybe put them on the bedroom door so that they can see them around the house. When you're practicing spellings, little and often is definitely better. 5 minutes at a time, a few times a day, will help your child remember them much better than sitting for an hour the night before a spelling test. Turn the spelling learning into a game. You might play pairs matching, turn 2 cards over and see if they match. You could hide them around the house, have a bit of a treasure hunt with them. You could cut them up or cut them into letters and see if you can match the pieces or the letters back together to spell the word. Whatever you do, just try and make it fun. And let your child learn them in the way that is best for them. Some children do like to write them down, but some children prefer to say them out loud. Let them use their rainbow pens, their felt tips. Let them say their words in silly voices. Now on the next slide are some of the common exception words that we learn in Year 3 and Year 4. So if you're ever struggling for spellings, or you think your child just wants to practice some more spellings, these are the words that they need to be able to spend by the time they leave Year 4. Okay, let's have a look at some ideas for learning your times tables. Count forwards and backwards in the times table pattern that you're learning this week. Count them up the stairs, count them around the house, dance and jump to them. Wherever you are in the house, just practice counting forwards and backwards in the 2s or the 8s or the 7s or whatever the pattern is for that week. Little and often again is better. 5 minutes at a time, a few times a day will definitely help you remember them. Turn learning times tables into a game. Again, hide them around the house, cut them up, match the pieces back together, make it fun. Have some challenges, set a little bit of a competition. And then you can also play Times Table Rockstars at least 3 times a week. If you play in the garage, you'll work on specific tables that have been set by your teacher. If you play Sound Check, that will see how well you are starting to know all of your times tables. And by the time children get to the end of Year 4, they need to know all of their times tables, all the way up to 12 times 12, and the corresponding divisions which go with them. If you're not sure of any of the times tables, you can have a pause on this slide to see the multiplications that we need to learn in Year 3 and Year 4. So homework, what are the key points for you to take away? Little and often is always best. There's no point having battles with children for an hour. Just spend a few minutes every day, a few times a day, and you'll get much better results. Find out what it is that motivates your child. For some, it's games. For some, it might be just having fancy pens. For some, it's the fact that you're not going to ask them to write anything. It might be that they're very competitive and they like to have competitions with people in their house. Be prepared with what you need to help them. So you need their reading diary. You might need pens and paper. You need to have time to spend with them. So find a time where you have a few spare minutes, and you need to have a quiet place. Make it fun. If your child's not enjoying it, they won't learn. Okay, so now we're going to move on to supporting children in lower key stage 2 with their online and home learning. There might be times where your child needs to learn at home rather than at school. School will support children with this by providing some activities online. We'll use YouTube, Tapestry and Teams, and we will also provide some activities which can be done on paper. Children will need to complete activities each day and return them to their teacher for feedback. This means that they will need some support from you in organising their day. Good idea is to create a little schedule or planner with your child. So we'll have a think about creating a plan for the day or a plan for the week. First of all, you've got to decide what suits your child best. Would you prefer to set up a plan for the day or a plan for the week? So here's an example of a daily schedule with the times on it, and an example of a weekly schedule, and you can just fill in the boxes of which you'd prefer. On the planner, choose 3 or 4 school activities to add into the planner each day. So it might be something from the paper-based activities for one of them. It might be a practical activity that you've been asked to do. It might be watching a YouTube video. It could be one of your activities is logging on to Teams to speak with your child's teacher. Make sure in the schedule that you add in some breaks. Make sure children know when their breaks for food will be, when their breaks for play will be, when their breaks for just relaxation will be, and try and schedule in some exercise. Schedule in an activity that your child really enjoys. Maybe some computer console time, some outdoor play in the garden, family time, a family game, some time for them to play with their toys, some time for TV or YouTube of their own choice, so that they have something to look forward to. Break up the day with these activities. And really importantly, get your child involved in creating the schedule. They are much more likely to follow it if they know they've had an input in it. And another good idea is to offer some rewards each time an activity is completed. These might be able to build up to earning more time on the things that they enjoy. For example, if they like to play on their computer games, perhaps each activity that's completed might earn them 10 or 15 more minutes time at the end of the day. It's really important to create a positive environment for learning when you're learning from home. So when it's school learning time, switch off the games consoles, switch off the phones and switch off the TV if they don't need them to complete the work. Make sure you have plenty of breaks for food, for a drink, for a little bit of play or relaxation and exercise. 20 to 30 minutes solid working is plenty enough time for lower key stage 2 children to be working at a time before they need a break for food or a relaxation. And then they can get back onto another 20 or 30 minutes activity for their schoolwork. Schedule in some time to work with them or check in on what they're doing. You shouldn't need to support your lower Key Stage 2 child all day, but they do, because they do need to work independently for some of the time. However, checking in with them and offering to listen and help will definitely boost their confidence. And have the resources available which they might need: pens and paper, laptops and tablets, books and craft materials. Thank you for your time. I hope this video was useful to you. We'd really appreciate it if you could please take a few minutes to complete our feedback form. You'll find the link to the feedback form in the description below this video. Thank you.